Hello, and welcome to Becky's House of Sewing. This is Mia Lou. She's happy to see you. Got her cute little gator tag on, ready for football season. And this is my Flosstube channel, where we talk about all things thread and needle. So welcome to anyone who is new. Thank you for all of those of you who watched my 30 some odd videos. I think we're 35, 36. It'll be in the description. I hope, Ron and Connie, that you have a large drink, a large beverage. I do not know how many times I will say your names, but I guarantee you this will be long enough to enjoy a beverage. So, fair warning to all of you. I hope that you are ready, that you settle back, because I got some good stuff for you today. I am going to do what they call, Ron, a whip parade. That's correct. That's where we dance all our projects in front of you and show you where we're at. It's a good thing to do from time to time so that you can get all your projects out and just realize exactly how many you have going on. And as I'm talking, I'm realizing I've already forgotten one. It's a quilting project. I might be able to see it and pull it out, but I digress. So here I am in my sewing room. I have Mia in the bedroom the sewing room with me, because right as I hit record, I started hearing her getting into something. And the last time I heard her do that and didn't do anything about it, we came up with disaster, which I will reshare in this video. I think I've shared it last video. Again, I apologize. I've started doing this every other week, not necessarily on purpose, just kind of how life has happened. I don't know if that is a thing that will continue or if I'll do every week. I want to remain non-committal. You're welcome, Ron. I do promise to not go longer than 2 weeks. I think that's reasonable. But now that I say that, you never know. Okay, so I have a lot of things to share over the last 2 weeks that I have received from as in haul, and then I have my whip parade and kind of talk about it. Today is Wednesday, August 17th. Anyone who needs to circle their calendar, that is 11 months until my birthday. It's also some of my very good friends' birthdays, so happy birthday to those. I have a lingering cough from COVID. I want to say that it's getting better. It's still annoying, still very productive. So at least it's doing its job. So I apologize if I cough. I hope that's not too annoying. I'm distracted by my dog sniffing around the fabric. I think everything's going to be okay. So my whips today that I'm going to share are in no particular order. I have written them down just to kind of have a track. And I have 12 to share with you. Not all cross stitch, mostly cross stitch. So I'll be bending down a lot to kind of get stuff, so enjoy the view. Let's start with the Roaring 20s quilt. This is what the quilt looks like on the bottom here, the finished one. This was a sew along. The reason why I wanted to do it is all these materials are peppered cottons from Peppered Quarry. Those cottons, I've talked about this quilt before, but these cottons have We'll see how this is going. I apologize in advance. Peppered cottons are what they call shock cottons. That means the warp is one color, the weft is another color. So they have kind of an iridescent feel to them. So if you can see, that kind of has a mixture of black and like a gray. And I'm not going to have a good example in front of me, but they're very unique. And I have a connection to Pepper Corey, and I love her work. So I wanted to have a project that involved them. And so I started it. I have not gotten very far because I made a miscut. And I kind of just packed it all away and didn't like dig into like where I miscut. I was also having a problem with them curling. So I probably just need to get the old starch out and use that. But I haven't yet. So that's where I'm at with that. So I'm getting that out. Getting that out of the way. I'm putting it back so I have a little more leg room. I don't know what happened here. Hold on. I must be organized. Alright. Mia, what are you getting into? Just all kinds of... She just looked at me and wagged her tail. She's the most adorable dog ever. Get off. Get off, Bud. As I yell at her. Okay. So this little guy is mostly finished. Why I have not finished it yet, I don't have a good answer. So this is Long May She Wave by Chessie and me. At the time that I got this, drink. Cheers, Ron. Sorry, I can't help it but chew the ice. Totally not good for me, I know. When I got this, when I acquired this, I had seen it on YouTube, like somebody's retreat recap. And I really was looking for something patriotic, and I really liked it. So this is where I am with it. This is 1/1. Ron, do you remember what that means? 1/1 means one strand of thread over one thread of fabric. Which means this is super tiny. Isn't that pretty though? It's pretty. I need to finish it. So as you can see, I got the flag done. I'm working on the words. I just need to do the white and the border. I'm getting this back out. I was kind of thinking I might forego the birds. I don't know. Tell me what you think. To bird or not to bird? That is the question. So let me get that folded back up so I can keep everything together. I don't have a partner in crime on these videos. I have to do it myself. The next project I have is kind of quilting. It's English paper piecing. So I had made these hexies and started sewing them together. This is an unknown project. I have no purpose for it. I just wanted to give it a go to see if I would like it. So that's all in this case here. These are the hexies. Some of these are on this side where my finger is, are not completed, and then these guys over here I have in pairs. I still have a few that I need to baste. So the basted ones look like this. And I'm sure Ron doesn't know what English paper piecing is. So Ron, English paper piecing is when you take a form, which is what this is. Let's see if I have one. I probably need it. Oh, no, I do have some. So this is just cardstock, kind of a thicker paper. And there's lots of versions of this. This is, the hexie is a classic. A lot of people start with this. They start with a smaller one. They usually start with a 1-inch hexie. I think this is 1 1.5, 1 1/4, 1 1/4. And then you baste it around the form. The more exact this is, and the better your basting is, the more exact your quilt will be, and it matches up, or whatever your project is. I was basting like this, just wrapping around the corner. I'm not convinced that is the tightest method. I know Kate from the last Lonely House, who I totally want to be when I grow up. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Highly recommend her YouTube channel. She also goes through the paper of her basting, again, just to keep it a little more secure. But this is going pretty good. I mean, I like my stitches. You can't really see them from the front. I guess a couple you can, but it's hand stitching. It isn't most enjoyable. So I'm going to keep that up. And I'm definitely going to keep it up because I have something coming that's a kit of this that I'm looking forward to. Where am I going to put all this stuff when I'm done? Okay. So here is one of the bags I've made. And this is a love letter to the Cross Stitch Nation. I think I talked about this, about my sweet, sweet puppy dog eating this up while I had my back turned. Maybe I was going to talk about it last week and I didn't. Look at what she did. She also chewed up my very expensive scissors. I probably can hone it out, but there's a little tooth mark on them. And she nibbled on my glasses. And she pulled everything else out, but the threads and the fabric are all okay. So I've talked about this before. I'm using all DMCs, and I was using the color chart to kind of match up the DMCs that I chose without writing everything down. So I was just kind of pulling the threads that suit me based on the picture. I was doing this in a hoop and the struggle was real. So I went ahead and I put it in a scroll frame. So if you see the fabric, Ron kind of rolls it up and it can keep it taut. Now when not in use, you don't want to keep it tight because it can stretch and warp the fabric. So I was working on this today. There were 10 hands in all. So I'm almost halfway there. Nice chunk done. The only thing I don't like about the scroll frame is that it doesn't fit in my cute bag. So I was dreaming last night about how do I solve that problem. And I know that Gervais Stitchery, which is a small independent LNS in Florida, they make a wrap to go over scroll frames to kind of protect your work. I'm thinking I want to make something similar to that I could put the chart and stuff in with it. So, thinking in my brain how I want that to look. Here's a non-cross stitch section. Oh no, things are coming apart. Hold please. Pardon me. Excuse me. Oh, what's happening? One of these things is not like the other. Longer pause than I expected. My deepest apologies. I don't know how that happened or why it happened. Okay. So, non-cross stitch related. I've got dirt on this one. Shocking. This is wool applique. It's not 100% wool components, but it's the idea of it. And I got this pattern and supplies from the best quilt store known to man, People, Places, and Quilts in Summerville, South Carolina. So this is my progress. Isn't it cute? I just need to, give you a little close-up on the bird. Did some little freehand stitching. The leaves. So I just need to do the remaining part. And whatever other embellishment. I was working on the bird breast here and got frustrated, so I just need to start up again. I'm using flower thread from my grandmother, so we won't talk about how old it is, but it's still working. It's still lovely to work with. And it's fun. I don't know why this is so quick and easy. Why? And look at all the fun magnets I have that I will need for my EPP. I need it. That's English paper piecing run. EPP for the hip kids. And I think what I want to do with this when I get it done is make it into a project bag. Wouldn't that be cute? So I should get this done. I dream about it. I think about it. Along the embroidery line, I have this project, and this was a gift from a friend of my mom's, Sandy. Thank you, Sandy. You're ever so kind to us, and we love you. She was my mother's roommate in her college years, where they had lots of fun. Oh, now I know why I stopped doing this. I got mad. You can see a mistake right there. So I was working on this. I might not finish the Sandy, but it was fun doing what I did and good practice. Who knows? I don't know how I can fix this. I'll look into it, but it is low on the totem pole. Oh, that's what fell. Okay. I did have things fall. Okay. Get to that later, Becky. Alright. What's in my favorite bag? Ooh. Ooh. Don't you love that fabric? It's my favorite. This bag, if you guys recall, I made because I got invited to a cross stitch group in South Carolina. I got invited Saturday, and they were meeting on Sunday, and I whipped this bag up because, of course, you have to have all the gear to show up to a group. So what I also made was a little thread bed, which in Mia's escapade, she also decided that she really likes the taste of batting, and that's what I used to make the thread bed, if you recall. So she tore the hole out of it. I don't know if you can see. So I need to repair that. Lighten that out. So what's inside this bag was the cross stitch that I started for being so excited on being invited to this group. And it's the Dutch Sampler Collection. And it is the big dude. You get all those patterns in this little thing. There's lots of things to pull out. And I did the DMC conversion. And I don't know if you recall, but I was so busy gabbing the first time that I started too far over, so I had to restart this. And then I was running into trouble. Hold on. I think I'm going to go get the dog. Let her out. Let her go be with her father, who just came home. Real time. Oh, thank you, honey. Ooh. Go with Daddy. Isn't that backdrop nice? I like my organizing supplies. I'm not letting you see what's on the floor, but there's plenty there too. So, back to the Dutch sampler. I started too far over on the fabric. I'm using a darker fabric because I didn't like, Ron, you may remember the ghost stitches. So what you can't tell is in between all of these little guys, there's a white flower, and you couldn't see that. And I was getting frustrated. Liz Matthews does great charts. This particular chart is very hard to read. So, this Sunday, I asked my very dear husband if he would scan it into the document to me, and then I can use it on my iPad, which is his old iPad. He has an iPad Pro, and he just got the newest iPad Pro. It's all fancy computer almost. So I have his old iPad, and so he did that for me, and I just took off from stitching. I know this doesn't look like a lot, but I got more than half of that. Let me get the needle off to the side so not to block my work. Doesn't it look good? So I'd only gotten to like here. I had done this corner and then I had stopped because I was just frustrated I couldn't see it that well. So this is like it's just a PDF that I have saved to the iPad, and a lot of people use a note-taking app to mark up their charts from there. I'm just using it from the iPad, and I can use a highlighter through the iPad and mark off where I'm stitching. But I also can make it, just making it larger and being able to see the symbol clearly, because it's got quite a few threads. All those threads. So understanding which one is which is kind of important. So, but I'm very pleased. And I would have stitched this on Wednesday for Wednesday stitching because I was all hepped up about it. But I used my iPad to Zoom, so alas, maybe I'll do it this evening. We are staying home this evening instead of going to my mother-in-law, so maybe it'll be my treat for staying home. Here in this bag, if you remember, my travel piece from my vacation in June. Isn't that a cute bag? Lori Holt's deco fabric. Not as thick of a canvas as my other bag, the last bag I just showed, but nice. This is the Spotted Pig pin keep. Here's my little thread bed with my RBG needle minder. And let's see where I'm at, shall we? I made good progress on this. Oh, sorry, it is not ironed. So the border is completed. I still need to do the flower portion of it, if you see on the bottom. But it matches. There may be a mistake in there, but you can't see it. And I was working on the pig fill-in, and I lost steam for no particular reason other than I wanted to start something new. And this is all done in a DMC conversion that I just picked out. I was able to get some of the fancy flosses. I'm so sorry. Now you gotta hear me crunch the ice. So I thought I had ordered all the fancy flosses, and these are some Gentle Arts, and they're still cotton. They're a hand-dyed variegated cotton, but not all of them came in, and I was not willing to wait. So I picked 2 other DMCs to go with. That was a good pick. I wanna restitch. I wanna get stitching on that again. Now I know why everyone who does a whip parade on Flosstube says, I really like that. I want to get back to that. Here's Mrs. Campbell. Isn't that pretty? Look at all those bright colors. Whew. She's a lot of work. Here I am. I haven't stitched on her in a while. There is a mistake in here, but it's very fixable. It's not going to make, oh, look at me. Over here I can fix it where the border meets. I just have one of these letters is like one scoop over. So I need to make up for it over here, which is easily done. We're getting closer to the end of my whip parade. What do I want to show next? I have my Denim Quilt. If you all remember her, my Denim Quilt. God, that looked cool. So cool. And what I'm doing now is hand embroidery on it. And where I'm at with that is right here. Out of that book from People, Places, and Quilts, I copied some of the patterns from the book, and instead of doing wool applique, I'm just doing embroidery. Now this is right in front of me, so let me get it out so I'm not misquoting. Ooh, did I just find? No, I did not just find. I'm missing quilt book, and I don't know where it is. It's safely tucked in the corners of my craft room. So I'm using the Stick and Stitch by Sulky. So this can go into your printer, and you can print off a embroidery design and then have something to follow. And then it washes away with water. My mother found this book, and I think I plan to use some of these motifs as well when I'm done with the birds. And at some point, I just need to be done with it. But I'm using a variegated Sashiko thread. Sashiko is an Japanese embroidery technique run. And it's really pretty. It's by Cosmo Floss, which also does... How did she get back in here? I don't remember the door opening. Which does regular cross-stitch thread as well. I did Roxy, which is covered up. Roxy was all Cosmo thread. Now this last one, I don't know if we can really count her, because I really don't have stitches done. She's more kitted up than anything, and not 100% kitted up either. And shoot, I'm not gonna have something to show you. Boo hiss. This is by Kathy Barrick, though. I can show you this portion. This is not at all what she looks like. It's a long and skinny piece called the Embroideress. And it's got a sampler aspect to it where it's got the alphabet, but then it has a lady in a dress because she's the embroideress. And I have it all ready and marked out where I need to start, but there are no stitches in it yet. The other, oh, that wasn't the last thing. What I am currently working on is Tula Pink's Pining for You quilt kit. And this is my last piece, people. And then we'll move on to haul. It's a long video. So this is the quilt that I'm working on. And I got my first block up on the screen there. On my, not the screen. It is on the screen, but it is on my, it's called a board, design board. It's on my design board. I am doing a stitch along with my friends that I forced into buying this from my quilt guild. We're meeting Sunday afternoons on it. Not every Sunday afternoon, but you know, as often as we can do it. So that was fun. We had one meeting and I was able to do that and finish it up while watching Mary Fawn's on Twitch, which is a gaming streaming service, but a lot of people are using it for streaming lots of different things. DJs are doing it. People who are chatting about different things will do it. So Mary Fawn's talks about quilts and quilt history and geeks out on it, and I enjoy it. So that are my those are my 12 whips. Works in progress. Now let me show you the fun stuff. Yay! Not that that wasn't fun, but I have to work on those. So I'm going to start with that I met with the Stitch group in South Carolina on Sunday. And that's a great group. They're very well connected. So I'm hearing about all kinds of retreats in time to participate if I wanted to. And then, you know, everybody like ends up bringing stuff. Stuff to share, and then again chatting about stitching and just life in general is always fun with multiple people. So what I'm about to show you are all free things that I got at the stitching group, just to brag about how awesome the stitching group is. But I'm very excited about it. So first off, somebody bought new punches, so I got some floss drops, which is my preferred method to hold my thread. If you recall, let's see if I can grab one. So they hang down like so. And it's easy to pull one strand off, and it's the right length. So they're kind of all pre-cut. So got those. This is Aida cloth. I don't normally stitch on Aida, but this is a hand dyed from Bestitch Me. And now I can't remember the count. Hold on. It's 16 count Aida, which means it's 32 count linen equivalent, which is a nice count that I like. Easy to, but look how pretty that is. And that would make a good drum. So I'm gonna find the right piece. I think I might do one of my oh, why can't I think of things when I'm talking on the camera? Why? Yeah, not gonna remember. I have something I might do with it. Then I got some charts for free. Remember, these were all given away because one of the ladies in the group had either decided she didn't want to stitch them or had duplicates, which happens. Plum Street. Plum Street. I have a Plum Street. I have a couple things that might work well on that. Look how pretty this is. This is not Plum Street. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that lovely? Nice little stitch card. Nice small. I got Henrietta and Company by Brenda Gervais. A lot of people did this one. Isn't that cute? This was a PDF download. Oh, the anticipation, right? PDF download. What could it be? What exciting thing. This is from Modern Folk Embroidery. Jacob. I like a Quaker. Also small. It fits in a 6-inch hoop. One color. There's lots of good things about that. Here's another patriotic one that I really like. This is part of a series. Early Americas, number 5. She had a couple other ones, but they didn't pique my interest as much. Here's a Plum Street, which helped me remember what I was looking for. Look how pretty that is. Autumn Hill. I really like poppies. Those remind me of poppies. Whether they are or not are irrelevant. Alright. So this next thing I'm going to show you is what I'm most excited about. This is a sampler that I've seen a lot of people do. That I wasn't sure that I wanted to do because it's full coverage. Ron, do you know what full coverage means? Full coverage means that it is wall-to-wall stitching. So if you look at this, how you see the motifs, it's not like stitched all the way. There's not a stitch for every space. This is not like that. I'm trying to think of where, I'm trying to read this, hold on. So this, I'm just going to show it to you. It's a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger. It's all cross stitches except for the water. The water is satin stitched. And here's some reasons why I haven't bought this yet. It's not an inexpensive chart. I don't want to show you all of it, but here, let me see if I can show you an example of part of it. It's all in color, which I also didn't know. It's not, I usually prefer a black and white color like this. Ooh. Shouldn't have flashed that, sorry. I forget that I'm not zooming. It's also a nicely bound, I mean, it's nicely done. And there's a lot of work in this, so I am not complaining that this would cost me $40 to buy anywhere else. I just have 12 whips. I really like it, but also, you know, like, I'm not ready to stitch it yet. I also couldn't get a clear definition on, like, how many threads there were and if there was a DMC conversion or whatnot, that kind of stuff. So I couldn't get good information about it. But when it's free, it's for me. When it's free, it's for me. So this was what I was trying to say earlier. I believe this was a 17th century or 1700s tapestry. And this artist, who is the Scarlet Letter, very well known for reproduction stuff, reproduced it in cross-stitch. My overall feelings about full coverage is that unless it's a small project, you might as well just do needlepoint. Needlepoint is worked on a canvas, and it's a thicker, like a wool thread, so it's thicker, and it looks more like a tapestry. It's certainly faster to stitch that way. But alas, I'm going to tackle it because I really like it so much. Now, things I got last week that I didn't get to talk to you about yet. Oh! I just forgot my other haul. That's okay. I can talk to you about it next week when other stuff comes in. I subscribed to Quilt Folk magazine. It smells good, people. It smells really good. Quilt Folk magazine is a quarterly magazine. And they go to different areas of the country and they interview all kinds of people and they take beautiful pictures and give you, it's like a history lesson. So they, you know, an in-depth interview. You get a history lesson about the area and all the different kinds of quilts. So they did North Carolina most recently, and I know of and met half the people that they interviewed, so I wanted to buy it. And those people who are interviewed in it were offering a coupon code, so I went ahead and signed up. And then when you subscribe, then you get the ability to get back issues for like 60% off. So I got Maryland, because I got fam in Maryland. Look at that quote. And I got Hawaii, because I have family in Hawaii as well. Native Hawaiians. They sent me a bonus, Fiber Art Now, which is a new mag. That's pretty interesting to look at, but a little less, more, there's articles in it, but I don't know, it feels different than Quilt Folk. And obviously it's dealing with more than just quilts. But what's really great is that they sent me a charm pack, which my dog ate the packaging on, of Liberty People fabrics. Liberty is very special. It's on Tantalon fabric, I believe. And this is Christmas inspired, which I really don't do Christmas, but I've worked in retail for 30 years. I get a lot of Christmas action outside of my home. Inside my home, I'm a little over Christmas. Do I like to celebrate it? Do I like to be with family? Share gifts? Absolutely. Do I like to decorate? Hear a lot of Christmas music? I hear a lot of Christmas music. Let's leave it at that. Other things that I got a couple weeks ago in stitching, somebody said, well, you know, Missouri Star Quilt Company is having Tula Pink's newest line as their super sale of the day. So I got the 10 square pack. Look how cool that is. I wish that this was open so I could show you all the cool prints. There's just know that there is a raccoon and trash can print in here that is stunning. How many times would you think I would say that? Then, you know, I was making bags. Still making bags. Some of the ladies in the sewing group in South Carolina have been making bags, and they used some really cool zippers, so I went on the hunt for them. And I like to buy my zippers on Amazon because they're a decent price and you get a lot of variety. But look how cute these are. And I got all of these like maybe 20 bucks, maybe less. Look how pretty that is. But wait, there's more. And then I bought this other version with big loop as the zipper pull, and they're different colors. Perfect for Tula Pink bags, don't you think? Oh wait, I have Tula Pink fabric. Oh, imagine that. How coincidental. So I got all these colors. Aren't they fun? Bag making. Let's make them. As mentioned earlier, I have more haul. Some of it's on its way. Some of it arrived today, but I left it on the couch. So I'm going to bid you adieu and go investigate what my husband's doing, because I hear other voices in my house, which makes me wonder what's happening. But it's 45 minutes, plenty long enough. I hope you enjoy. I hope you didn't run out of anything to drink, and I love you guys a lot. I'll see you next time.